In the middle of training, and one of the things that has really helped me train has been using Runna's training plan. Hey. So, making breakfast before I head out for the day. Is it following me? There it is. Okay. Yeah, and I want to talk about my training right now. Training for my first half marathon, which is coming up at the end of March here in Philly. It's called Love Run. And I'm really excited about it, just because I know like the strides that I made last year. Being someone who's been running really consistently, I say for 6 months, but pacing myself throughout all of 2025, and getting better. You know what I mean? Like going from like I would say, barely running 3 minutes to, I did my first 10K, 6 miles back in August, and then just like finishing out the year doing 10 miles, a 10-mile race, which was really dope, the Rocky Run, and feeling like I could have pushed more to do that half marathon, which was the 10 miles plus an additional 5K. So for anyone's not familiar with what the Rocky Run is, what have you, the Rocky Run is like this, iconic race that happens in Philly every November, and there's a 5K and then there's a 10-mile section of it, and the what the that's my coffee, and there's a half marathon portion called the Italian Stallion Challenge, of course, because Rocky, and that is basically when you do the 5K and then break time, and then you'll do the 10 miles, so a half marathon. And I did a 10 mile, and I was like, I feel like I probably could have did another 3 more miles. And the best part about it is you get 3 medals, because you get the 5K medal, you get the 10-mile medal, and then you get an Italian Stallion Challenge medal. So you get those 3 medals. And it's something similar too with Philly's Marathon, where they have a marathon, they have a 8K, and then they have a half marathon. So of course they have something similar where you can get like medals for all 3 of those if you do all 3 in that weekend, which is like that Saturday and Sunday, which to me sounds insane. I ain't there yet, but there's people that did it. And I think there's one for like the half marathon and the marathon, and there's one for like doing all 3, which is just crazy to me. But I love that people challenge themselves in that particular way. So, I mean, my challenge for me this year is just so I signed up for 10 races, and my first one is the half marathon. So I have 4 half marathons for this year, and 2 marathons, and then I think 2 10Ks. That's 8, and then I signed up for 2 other things. I think there might be 5Ks. I can't remember right now, but I signed up for a lot of freaking races this year. Hold on, my bacon. That's cool. Kind of balanced out. All right. Sweet bacon. I'm gonna cook a little bit more. So having bacon, and eggs, and salad, ensalada. So my goal for this year is just to ramp it up. Again, for my running journey here, turning 40, it has really been about defying the societal odds around like what it means to get older, what it means to turn 40, and to just take control of my health, take control of my life, and take control of my mobility, my body, my strength, all these different things. And as someone who's been a long-standing lover of like strength training, lifting weights, all that type of stuff, and my cardio lacking, running has been the best option in the cardio space for me that I've taken on. Right, I did the bike in the gym a lot, but when I started running, I realized I was burning more calories, and I was like, then why? I mean, biking is cool. It takes some pressure off you, but running burns some calories like crazy, right? So it burns calories. So when you talk about losing weight, which I'm trying to get back to a decent weight, I was 250 at the start of the pandemic, and was there for a while until this past year. So I lost 40 pounds by the time I did the Rocky Run, or a little bit before that. So I lost 40 pounds. I'm down to 210, 211 right now. I'm fluctuating between 210 and 212, right? Because I also do kickboxing and MMA training, Muay Thai training, and so that along with the strength training, along with the running, is kind of like protein intake and keeping all that stuff in mind, has maintained a balance of my muscle. And I realized that building muscle also is like that's weight on you. So I'm fluctuating between 210 and 209. Actually, it was one point, which is crazy after all these years, and 212. So today I weighed myself. I was 211, and but my goal is to get back down to 185, which was like my favorite weight. I didn't realize how small that was comparative to getting as big as I got over the past like 6 years. So even 250 is not necessarily big, but it's big enough for me because I had knee troubles, since high school, and I started feeling way more the bigger I got, and I wasn't a fan of that. So I liked 185, so I want to get back down to that 185, 190, sure, but I want to get down to that weight again. I miss that size. So, but I want to keep the strength, enhance the strength, and agility and mobility and things like that. So that's the goal with this whole journey. And then I'm gonna get some oil in. Oh, no. Not the way though. Alright. Get my eggs. Yes, sir. With me. You watching me cook? Alright, so I got my bacon and my eggs. We got the monster. We got the monster. Hey, you lost me. There I go. We got the monster. Hurry up before my egg gets eggy. I'm investing too much time in this. Trying to be delicate. Oh, yeah, shit. That's the thing I like about cheese. It could just sit for a while. Damn. There you go. Right in the center. Right in the kiss. Pa, right in the kiss. Pa, right in the kiss. Pa, right in the kiss. Yeah, look at that. Bone apple teeth. Okay. So yeah, in the middle of training, and one of the things that has really helped me train has been using Runna's training plan. So Runna, for those who don't know, is it's like a companion app to Strava, which is like, Strava is like a whole kind of like social community for runners where you can track your runs, record your runs, track your progress, your heart rate, the type of shoes you're wearing, and track your routes, and you can share that with other people and engage in challenges and things like that. And Runna is like their kind of companion app that they created that helps you get more intentional around planning for your runs. and it helps you develop plans for if you're planning for a race or if you're planning for like a recovery, if you need a recovery plan. Even, there's articles and like different things about nutrition, how to better your nutrition while running, how to better your fueling, a lot of tips and tricks around better running, better planning, and then better, how to build community, things like that. They even have a podcast as well, if I do understand correctly. But I've been using Runna since I was introduced to Strava through my run club back last summer, and I've been using Runna ever since my first race, which was a 10K. It was the Philly 10K, and so I set up a plan for that, and it helps you kind of what it does. What's great about Runna to me has been that it's helped me customize a plan within enough time frame with what feels feasible to plan a run around a race, right? To plan a training plan around the race. And so I think with the 10K, I think it was like 8 weeks, which was still enough time because I was able to do the race and complete it and run my best time at the time. So what's great about Runna is that for this training, I've given myself more time. I've given myself about 12 weeks, 13 or 12 weeks, and I'm in the middle of week 2 right now. So what it does is it can not only help plan how many times I run per week to help build my endurance, build my speed, my pacing, my timing, and like all those different things, and through tempo runs, through interval runs, through just long runs in general to end my week. So I can plan to do 2 runs a week, 3 runs a week. Do I need to include strength training? And it does that. It does that as well. And it customizes your week in that particular way based on your timing, how much you allow for within that week, to include strength training, to include your actual runs. All right, and it generally is like an easy run, and then like a tempo run. Like let's say for instance, for me, I currently have it set for 3 runs a week. And my past plans that I've done, the past couple of plans, which was for the Philly 10K and for the Rocky Run, it was 3 runs a week, and then 2 days of strength training based on what a runner needs to do to strength train, which was a lot at the time, and also because I like to follow my own particular kind of plan when it comes to strength training. So I tried it. It was a little bit of a challenge to me. It was new. It was new workouts that I haven't done before and included before. And it's helpful. 100% is helpful. This time around, I included just like the runs, and the strength training I would do accordingly based off what I've already grown to understand I would need from the past training plans I did with Runna. And also now because I've included Muay Thai kickboxing training in my regimen, which adds a ton of extra like cardio and strength training, kind of a combination of full body work that I can do in the middle of my runs or on the same days as my runs. So I've kind of included that, and then mixing in whenever I'm in the gym and I can do some strength training. All that in combination with the runs is what's going to help me better myself, better my endurance, better my conditioning, and better my pacing and my breathing. And all these things are taken in consideration when it comes to planning for your runs. So Runna allows me to plan for week after week, which includes an easy run, and then the second run would be a tempo run or an interval run or 1 kilometer repeats, things like that, and then closing out the week with a long run. Right, and the long run, of course, is like, okay, that's like your test for the week that you're leveling up towards getting closer to whatever that length of that race is. So this being a half marathon, down the line, I'm sure at some point in my plan, I didn't really look just yet, but you can see your full plan on a calendar schedule, week after week, of what your expected runs are to be. And if you have the premium plan, then you can see like your whole full plan. A lower rate plan would probably maybe a couple weeks ahead, but that's far as you go. But it's great that you can see it in a calendar view of your plan. And even if you don't like the days, you can always either switch the days out, or if let's say your easy run is planned on a Monday, but you don't get to make that Monday, something happens, whatever the case may be. If you do it on Tuesday, it just switches over. And then even then, it may customize your next week to follow that particular plan. If the Tuesday feels better, then it may switch over. So, and if not, you can choose to move it around on the calendar. So it's planned out on your calendar, and you can move those runs around. And if you just feel like you need to, you can skip a run as well if you want. So it is really customized to your timing, to what your goals, what you're looking to do, and how you plan to meet them. Of course, you want to meet them 100%, but life's, and it's accommodating to that. So running has been really great for me in planning that, and getting better at my conditioning, and ultimately pushing me to let me know I can do hard things, right? Pushing me to let me know that I can move forward in this, I can do this next race, because it really is all about the week after week consistency in conditioning and staying dedicated, right, to the goal, which is the race, which is the whether it's the PR, or getting your personal best, or just I want to finish and feel good about myself that I did this race. If nothing else, then you will be able to at least go the distance better than you ever imagined if you just kind of like were willy-nilly around your runs. It's not to say you can't run a marathon or half marathon just straight off the bat. There are some people, crazy people, in my opinion, that they never run before and they just start running because they feel like running a half marathon. That's cool, and there's people that can finish, but you also increase your risk of injury. So when you train and you plan out your training week after week, you lower that risk of injury going into your races, especially a long race like a half marathon or a marathon. So there's no getting around that feeling of like stressed muscles, or stressed feet, or that pain, or shin splints, or whatever the case may be. But you reduce that risk by training, right? Like with anything, like with any sport or any type of like physical activity, training is key to better your body so you can lower injury risk and operate at your most maximum value, at your maximal effort. So I really love using Runna and as a training coach, so to speak, without having to without having to like go to, like, say, a personal coach. I can do things on my own terms. And I'm very much like that. Like, I do like doing things on my own terms, and allowing me to move in my own pacing and trust in the process that I've set forth, right? And I can always customize it as needed based on life circumstances or whatever the case may be. So for anyone that's looking to run and needing a training quote unquote coach that's kind of low maintenance in terms of like having to go see someone or whatever the case may be, or if you feel like you just want to kind of run and rate and train low key, then Run is a great way to go. And again, like I said, you can customize it based on your needs, your skill level, and it will do, as long as you stay consistent with it and disciplined and dedicated, then you will get there, right? And it will take you that far. And you can have, and then not only that, but Runna also can, since it's a Strava app, it links your progress to your Strava, so you can see your recorded progress. It gives you also through the Strava, it also gives you like this kind of feedback on like how your run compares to like week after week. Runna also rewards you for your runs. Like it'll give like a trophy case or award case that lets you know you reached a new personal best in your 10K. You reached a new personal best in your 5K or your marathon, your half marathon. And it even has a prediction section where it can update predictions on how you would do. So if you're running a half marathon, let's say, and you're doing your training program, and you're on pace with your training program that you've set up, then it can update the prediction of how well you'll do over the time that you'll make when you do a half marathon. So let's say at the start of your training, you're going to do 2 hours and 20 minutes, right? That's like what the expected prediction was. By maybe like week 5, week 8, or whatever the case may be, it may update predictions as long as you're doing better and like you feel like you're pushing yourself more. It could update that to 2 hours. Like, oh, your new prediction is that you'll do this now in 2 hours, right? And and that sets a standard for the rest of your races. So if you're aiming even if you're aiming just for the half marathon, it sets a prediction for like, okay, well, based on this particular pace, this is how you'll do in a marathon, right? Or this is how your 5K will do. This is how your 10K will do. So it's really great in kind of keeping you motivated as well through your process. And again, it's very low key, and it works well with tracking your progress and keeping you motivated, to keeping you moving forward, and keeping you accountable, right, for your progress. And it adjusts. You can do it for your runs outdoor. You can do it for a treadmill run, like to work with whatever the treadmill pacing. If you have a particular treadmill that connects to Runna, then it can connect to that treadmill and get that exact those exact numbers for you. So Runna's a really great app. I love using it. I'm going to keep using it for all of my trainings and to keep me on task. And yeah, so I'm excited to finish out this plan. Again, I'm in week 2 of my training plan for this run. It's March 29th. And so that means I have about almost 10 weeks left of training, which I think is a great time. And I'm excited to see where I go. I'm excited to see the progress that I make, the timing that I can beat, and just being better at that. But at the end of the day, it's always, like I said, there's no competition other than myself, the guy in the mirror, the man I was yesterday. So it's definitely me versus me, 100%. But it's going to be good to see where I am speed-wise, pacing-wise, and just being able to say, I did it, I can do it. And I'm capable of doing those those difficult things and pushing past it. As shouts out to my boy Sean, at least says push past pain. And it really is like that, because that's how you level up. The pain is there they say pain is weakness leaving the body, right? So you push past that, obviously responsibly, but push past that to show yourself that you're better than any circumstance, that you're bigger than any circumstance, and you're better than the person you were yesterday or the person you were this morning. That's always a goal. So yeah, level up is on the way. First half marathon, I'm locked in, I'm excited, I'm ready to go. So I'm gonna eat this breakfast before it gets cold, but we're gonna get to it.